From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Friday, February 28th. Here are today's headlines. The leader of the Kurdistan Workers Party, or PKK, Abdullah Ocalan, made a historic call yesterday for the group to lay down arms and disband. The move would end more than 4 decades of conflict with Turkey. The statement was relayed via a letter read by members of the Dem Party, Turkey's largest pro-Kurdish group. The PKK was founded by Ocalan in 1978. Since then, it's waged an insurgency against the Turkish state. It's maintained positions in northern Iraq and Syria. The group is designated a terrorist organization by Turkey, the US, and the EU. Ocalan has been in prison since his capture by Turkish forces in Kenya in 1999. The PKK has previously said it will not heed any calls to disarm unless Ocalan is released from jail and a meeting can take place in person. As of Thursday evening, it remained unclear if all factions within the organization will heed the call. This is a developing story. The city of Jenin in the Israel-occupied West Bank is seeing the worst escalation in decades. Devastated neighborhoods and tank deployments in Jenin camp have displaced around 40,000 Palestinians. Israeli military operations in the occupied West Bank are causing the largest forced displacement of Palestinians in the territory since the occupation began. That's according to a warning from the charity Oxfam International earlier this week.
Jenin is in a major crisis right now. It is the worst violence there since 2002 during the Second Intifada, when the Israeli army sent a very large force into Jenin camp.
The National's Robert Tallest writes, the events of today recall parallels in Jenin's past.
They said that they were trying to uproot Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad cells, essentially the same foes that they're facing there today. And at the time, they destroyed around 140 houses. It was one of the worst acts of violence in the West Bank during the entire conflict. Today, they say around 120 houses have been bulldozed in Jenin camp. The situation there is getting worse and worse. And in terms of displaced, we're talking about 40,000 people now in the northern part of the West Bank. So even if you go back to 2002, we're talking about maybe 5,000 people displaced from Jenin camp.
The escalation has seen bulldozers tear up roads and buildings in Tulkarm and Jenin camp. It comes after the near-total ruin of Gaza, where around 2 million people have been displaced, with more than 48,000 killed, mostly civilians.
Now the Israelis are talking about building new military garrisons in the area around Tulkarm and Jenin camp as well, and staying there for a year. So this is coming after several years of escalation in the West Bank, going back before October the 7th, but it does point to some very dark times ahead. If the violence continues, it's not hard to imagine the Palestinian Authority in real upheaval.
Nvidia on Wednesday beat forecasts for its latest quarterly results. It's a strong front from the chipmaker after DeepSeek upended the broader artificial intelligence market last month. Here's the National's Greg Tanner with more.
Nvidia has posted a 78% annual increase in quarterly earnings with record revenue of $39.3 billion. Now, for almost any other company, that would be extremely impressive. But following the chipmaker's exponential growth in recent years, it's rather tepid in comparison.
Nvidia's stock has increased by more than 1,800% in the past 5 years. It's helped drive the AI boom since ChatGPT made its debut in 2022.
Now, you may remember that last month, the AI industry was rocked when a Chinese startup called DeepSeek announced it had created a powerful artificial intelligence platform to rival the likes of OpenAI, but at just a fraction of the cost.
Magnificent Seven stocks, that's 7 of the world's biggest and most influential tech companies, took a major hit this year after DeepSeek became an overnight sensation.
That news actually wiped nearly $600 billion off the value of Nvidia in a single day, as it raised all sorts of questions about the economics of AI. Well, the Nvidia chief executive, Jensen Huang, actually mentioned DeepSeek in the earnings call overnight and said it had only ignited global enthusiasm about the industry.
That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.